Good morning, everybody. It's Ragged07 with you. And today I'm going to basically practice the message that I was asked to deliver on Sunday at church. Um, all right, so here we go. Obviously, it'll be a much better intro. Um, Today I'm going to start out with today's scripture and reading, and it is from Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. Serve one another in love. Now that's pretty interesting because of what I'm about to discuss today really should be in love and nothing less. Um, I want to talk to you guys today about helping people with disabilities, give you a little bit of an idea about, you know, what we really are about. Because I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions. Um, First of all, let's go to the why are people disabled? Well, there are many, uh, there are many ideas as to why there are disabilities in this world. Some believe it's sin that is passed down from generation to generation. Some people believe that they are chosen by God to carry a certain special burden. Um, but in the beginning of all of it, Adam and Eve ate the apple. Well, Eve did, and Adam was like, no, don't. Okay, but she did anyway. And from that point on, that's when the suffering and the death started. Um, and I think it's meant to be that way. I mean, what a way to um, spend a life. I mean, we're not separated from God unless we want to be. So, and for a disabled person's experience is unlike anything that an able-bodied person would be. Number one, we are healed completely. We are, able to walk, healthy, all the same things that, normal people are when they get to heaven. But I think it's going to be a much different situation. As a matter of fact, I know it is. Um, Disabled people are not damaged goods, folks. God displays his strength in a person through weakness and their gifts, their spiritual gifts. Um, Everyone is equipped with a gift from God. And whether or not they know how to use it or they want to learn to use it, it's really up to them. Um, so what I want to tell you guys is we need to start reaching out to our elderly, our disabled, help them heal. And ways that we can help them heal are pretty easy. Um, Number one, someone have a social life. A lot of people, especially older people, elderly, seniors, um, that no longer have a social life because either friends have died, their spouse, their family is gone. They're the only ones left. And they are isolated from society. With disabled people, sadly, it still goes on today, but people are locked away, either in a hospital institution or whatever. Um, they have no social life other than the nursing staff, and to be quite honest, it's not nearly the same. I've spent many days in the hospital, and it's not. You long to go out. You want to go out and feel the sun. You want to go out to dinner or, to a movie, anything. And you can help these people achieve a social life. The problem of it is that people are so afraid they're going to say the wrong thing or they're going to hurt them physically, um, along those lines. Well, emotional health is extremely important. And how I guess my friends have done it is through, they've got blinders on, okay? And it is up to the disabled person on whether or not they want to keep the blinders on or take them off. Um, I, and I'm going to say something else. Pain is an abnormal, can create abnormal behaviors. It can create outrageous bursts of anger. It can shove people away, even though they don't really want those people to go away. Okay? But they will say, get out of here. You really don't want to be around me. What am I? I'm nothing. And the reason why they've gotten this attitude is from society. And this needs to stop. It really does. Because there is no social outlet for these people. Their health deteriorates because their emotional state deteriorates. And your emotions are all really, truly part of your spirit. Okay? That doesn't change. Um, but when you have such a profound negative, it will change. And it may not be for a good thing. They can be, people that are in tremendous amount of emotional or physical pain, um, they do suffer from isolation. They do suffer from depression. Anger is a big one. Um, Overly confident. In other words, they're trying to be something that they're not, or make up stories to what they've done and they really haven't. Um, and we, as I guess outsiders, I know that's odd for me to say considering that I'm also a disabled person, but I was very blessed as to be able to go to regular schools, have the family support, and friends, a lot of friends. Um, that does not mean that I was not aware of the ugly side because I still lived it. And a lot of times I feel like such an outsider because I see people, and this is really bad. I see people that's all they want to be around is other disabled people because they so-called understand each other. You know, I can understand that, but I also feel it's shutting your life off from experience and experiences that really enrich God's messages to us, that really enrich the power of the soul. Um, so getting people to come over to their place or, go out to lunch or bring a pizza over and a movie, things like this, you know, um, you might get the why are you trying to be nice to me speech. I'm just a pathetic person, you know, I'm no fun, I'm this, I'm that. We've got to change this between able-bodied and disabled. Um, because it's a lot like this with elderly people. And this is why we are blessed with things like Meals on Wheels and um, just people to come and maybe pray with these people or show them the love of God if they don't believe in God because of a disability. And yes, that is very prominent. That people with disabilities do not want to recognize God because they're like, well, if God was all loving and everything, why did he do this to me? Um, you know what? It's messed up as it is, and I'm not the most healthy person, and I most certainly am not always the happiest person at times, but I always believe in God. And you know what makes me believe in God? When I go outside and I look around at the blue sky and I can breathe the fresh air and the trees and the birds and all that happy stuff and other people. That's what makes me believe in God. I refuse to blame him on this because this is how it's meant to be, folks. And, if we can get people to recognize this, that would be lovely. That would be wonderful. And, people don't understand when they get old and they know that their time is getting closer, okay? They tend to become angry because maybe they didn't get to do something in their life that they've always wanted to do. Maybe the person was abused. But is that a reason to hate God or not believe in God? I don't see that. Our world is turned upside down at the moment. And again, it's a God thing. As God awful as it is, um, it's meant to happen. And you and I and all of us here are meant to happen. And we all have a disability in one way or another. Nobody's perfect. It's just that one of us is more obvious than the other. And can you imagine being in a room in a hospital or a room in a very tiny apartment, like, say, a studio, which is one room, and all you have is a television? That's it. And a phone that never rings. Imagine what kind of isolation that would be for you as an able-bodied person. And these people, all they can do is try to imagine what it's like to have a normal life. And we've got to reach out to those people. And I do believe that the Messiah has or had a people with disabilities group in our church. And I've never been to it because I've never really felt that I needed a support group as far as, dealing with my trials and tribulations. It's very hard for me to, I can't explain it. It's very hard for me to understand what that person's life is like because we have two different disabilities and things like that. And I want to understand. It's a matter of cutting through that thick leather exterior that so many people have. But when they have Christ in their life, it really turns paper thin, okay? And you're able to see the beauty inside, and they are able to acknowledge that they are loved, and this is what God wants them to have. And it doesn't have to be depressing all the time. Um, Most of my friends are able-bodied. I do have a few disabled friends, and they just don't care. They're a lot like me. They're like, this is how I have to live my life. This is how God wanted me to be. People who have been in accidents, car accidents, I think would be most angry people or the most challenged people because they lost everything they once had. They lost it all. We have got to show love and compassion to these people. Otherwise, I hate to say it, but we could lose these people, and never know. Never know. So, I'm not sure what we are doing here at this church as far as outreach, and maybe I should probably find out. And let's get involved, folks. You know, um, we have a shut-in program, and people who are in nursing homes, and people need people to visit. We need people to visit them, and we need to have volunteers. What really is it going to take out of your day, of your power job, of your 10,000 kids, or whatever? I don't think I'm going to say that in the speech. But what does it take to spend a half hour to an hour with someone who has nothing? Nothing. What is that? It's a drop in the bucket once a week to go, have lunch with them, talk to them, hold them when they want to cry. Do you see what I mean? Could you imagine not having any of that? Well, unfortunately, a lot of us will. But there's God, and He can guide you through everything. He can help you through everything. If you say, God, I don't think I can do this, He says, yes, you can. And I'm going to show you why you can and how you can. So, on that note, I would like to wish everyone a beautiful day. Peace be with you always, and God bless. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.